Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check the limited pack for Ragnarok, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you need the content. So, first of all, I gotta say I'm glad about this pack because it had a stiff competition with the character release pack to begin with. Since this weapon is extremely broken and there's only you can only get this on this pack and there's no other way to get this. If the limited set wasn't as good at this or provided something as useful as this weapon, then it would have been a flop. But I don't think it is. It is a pretty competent pack. So, first of all, if you buy the pack, you will get obviously the skin, a copy of the UR weapon, and a copy of the SR weapon, as well as 100 gems. And if you roll on the banner, you have the chance to grab the supporter Taimanin Shinora, which is going to give you increased damage against all enemies, and damage taken also is increased by 3% every 10 seconds and stack up to 10 times, going to 3 to 6% on one stack, 30 to 60% on the 10 stacks. It also increases your maximum HP by 8% up to 16%, restores 8% of lost HP upon being hit up to 16%, and this activates every 10 seconds. Increases damage dealt by demon and human type allies by 12% up to 24%, and draws a snowflake. The active draws a snowflake sigil on the floor, deals damage equal to 470% up to 940% of attack, and deep freezes the enemy for 4 seconds. And as you know, deep freeze is going to freeze the enemy, increases the damage by about 30%, and this debuff is not going to be removed for 4 seconds, but neither can it be extended with something like Witsu. So, yeah, this supporter is strong, I gotta say. It has a big flaw, but that flaw is part of the balancing design. I mean, it is meant to be there. So, this supporter can offer up to 84% of damage increase to the character who has this equipped when it has max stacks. The issue is that if you compare it with other supporters that increase damage, throughout the battle is not going to be as impactful. It's only super impactful at the very end, because there you have all the stacks. And that's the only flaw that it has. The thing is, I do suggest that you grab at least one copy of this. Red Spinel is regarded as one of the best supporters that you can equip for pure demon teams, and she gives like 28% damage increase for the demon allies, and this one does almost the same for humans. It's a little bit less, but still pretty good. So at least grab one copy. You don't want to get this supporter. What about the weapon, Hajime? So Hajime over here is going to, it says, Snowstorm grants yourself and allies 8% up to 16% increase of speed and penetration for 6 seconds. Increase of speed, what a way to say it. When used, okay. And then increases skill damage and critical rate by 12% up to 24%. So, yeah, basically, this has a small flaw. And I say flaw, but it is a design choice, again. And the thing is that it only works on green. That's the only issue that I have on this. It is kind of an outdated design. They already noticed that going for weapons that only work on one color isn't the greatest of ideas, but since it provides party white buffs, I guess that compensates for that fact. So the damage increase is really nice on a UR weapon, and the critical rate is also appreciated. It is not 30%, but it's still pretty good. So, yeah, you probably do want to grab this weapon as well. Though, it's gonna be kind of difficult to decide where to roll right now. This is the new meta weapon, and probably you want to have it 5 out of 5. This is not going to rerun in a while, so this is your last chance, or well, last chance we know for sure to get this on a banner, on a single banner. And Lan is not gonna have a rerun. She's only going to be available on the character renewal pack, like this one. These packs provide the character release supporter, so yeah. And Lan isn't even out there, so imagine how long you have to wait for her renewal. Well, so anyways, let's test this. Let's test this weapon and supporter. And of course, we're gonna start with Ragnarok. So, honestly, I prefer to use the Taimanin suit just as it is, rather than just have it without the extra cover. So yeah, I'm gonna take it like this. Now, of course, I have Hajime 5 out of 5 plus 15 with critical Magatamas, wind and ice element, whatever attack Magatamas on the subslot, whatever weapon on the subslot, both 5 out of 5 plus 15, and for skills, Frost Wind to increase damage, Icicle Zone to trap the enemies and increase damage as well. In fact, if you want to go for Freezing Slash, is not a bad option because you're going to be able to stack the buffs, because these are the same kind of buff and they reset the duration. And lastly, I'm going to use Snowstorm. Snowstorm, it is kind of necessary for the weapon, but it is a devastating attack. It's just great. Now, for supporters, of course, we use Shinora over here, 5 out of 5. We also use Kowaru because I already have a pretty good critical rate with my weapons and stats. And Akane to increase damage against all enemies and further increase damage against bosses. Stats of the customs, stat training, and now let's do the run. So I'm gonna go slow-ish, not because I want to, but rather because I want to take advantage of the buff. So the first thing that we do is that we evade, reposition, and we use the skill. And then we wait. I'm going to let the animations happen because we want the timer to run. Yeah, like that. Then I use my skill. I evade. And then I use this. And Murasaki should be done. As you can see, it is devastating. This supporter is pretty good, but the issue is that... Oops, it is thundering over here. Well, the issue is that you don't want to use this on characters who don't have any means of HP recovery, because you may become extremely frail. Now, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to go over there, because I want the timer to run so that I have more and more damage, you know? So, yeah. Careful with who you pick to use this. Preferably, you use range attackers or mid-range attackers, and the more damage they can deal, the better. Honestly, I tried this with Ragnarok, but she isn't the best target for the supporter, just because the skill has a critical rate increase. The green one has a critical rate increase rather than damage increase. So yeah, look at that. Oh, that wasn't supposed to... Oops. I wasn't supposed to use that one. Well, it doesn't matter. I just do this and this. And then I eliminate every single enemy. Yep. Just like that. It is that broken, guys. And I'm going to ulti... What? I just glitched! No! No! Nice. I just glitched? No. It's my controller. It got disconnected for some reason. Give me one moment. God, for a moment I thought I glitched out. Yeah. There. Now I'm going to... Yeah. Ulti, just to clear this wave. That doesn't really matter. And this one. I use the attack. Then I position the sigil and I use the active and it's gone. Everyone is gone. Well, almost everyone. You see the insane amount of damage? So since Ragnarok is able to heal when the enemies are frozen, I can heal myself pretty easily. But if we try this with another character, you might see that it's not as simple. For example, Murasaki can do it, sure. I mean, Green Murasaki, how could she not? Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go with Coral, because, I mean, it's a green build. We're gonna use critical, melee. Yeah, give me all of these. And now, we're also going to use attack, UR, any, equip, oops. I guess I'm going to equip, oops, this one, and this one. Yeah, perfect. Just like that. Now, we put one more time the supporters, and it's going to be, of course, Shinora, Ragnarok over here. Should I? Let me check. Damage taken from enemies. All enemies reduced by X. Damage and critical rate increase against slow enemies. Yeah, I'm gonna slow the enemies a lot. And another thing, I'm gonna use Lan, why not? So that I can abuse my skill. Because Tentacle Mine has a medium cooldown, so it's gonna be way less. It's gonna be 50% less. So I use this, I use Senpu, and I use Tentacle Hold, and with that it should be done. Yeah. So it is going to be really effective for the most part, because I have enough HP recovery, but you're gonna see that I become extremely frail at the very end, because this is a melee character. Come on. Just... Oh, don't! Let me just... Everyone is groggy. Well, that's my fault. Anyways, look at the huge damage. And at how fast I'm able to use my skills. And still I don't take that much damage just yet. But a 60% damage increase taken, it is going to be noticeable in a while. Yeah. The attacks are becoming deadlier and deadlier the more time passes and the more stacks I have. Oh yeah. Come on, there. Phew. Yeah, the good thing is that since I have HP recovery, that shouldn't be an issue. But keep in mind that I have all the awakening skills. Perhaps if you've tried this, you're gonna notice that it is actually pretty risky because of the damage increase. I'm going to take a couple hits. Yeah, you see, it's... Well, obviously, I have a ton of awakening skills, but it is pretty easy to get one shot if you let all the stacks accumulate. Yeah. Just like that. Perfect. Nice. Perfect. Tentacle hold. Yeah, it would be devastated if it wasn't Murasaki. Because she can just heal a ton. And besides, the awakening of your supporters is also gonna be very impactful when equipping the supporter. Not only the awakening of Ragnarok herself, but the awakening of all your other supporters. Yeah, just like that, perfect. And I do this, and I use the active. Look at the insane damage. God. Yeah, deep freeze on demand, it is broken. And that's why they give a long cooldown to that supporter. Which I honestly, I don't like, but I understand. It is balanced that they give it a 70-second cooldown. Now, let's do a run on Time of 5 BR. Yeah, I'm gonna go to floor number 2. I just, give me one moment. Yeah, this one, but I change this for Aina. First, we're gonna start with Aina. A good thing about this particular supporter is that it buffs 2 traits, not only one. Not only demon, you can go with a mixture of human and demons, which is appreciated in comparison to Espinel, which limits the kind of builds that you can do. So, very quickly, let's go with the supporters. And then, we have Lapis with Gloom of Worshipper, whatever anti-human Magatemas with Wind Effect, whatever Magatemas over here, whatever weapon, 5 out of 5 plus 15, both of them. I'm going blue. I thought I was going... no, yeah, this is for blue. That's why. Spear Barrage, Gem Support, and Moral Boost. 4 supporters, Mido Haruka, Arabella, and Kirara. Stats of the Customs, Stat Training. Then, Lina. For Lina, we use, of course, the Wicked Star weapon. 5 out of 5 plus 15, whatever weapon 5 out of 5 plus 15, anti-human Earth Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the subslot, Vanish, Cherry Blossom Frenzy, and Cherry Blossom Blinding Storm. These two to buff, Lina to deal a massive amount of damage and to heal Lina. See, and besides, it is buffed by the weapon, and that's another reason to use it. Then, Mirabelle, guess what? We're gonna buff the team, yeah, that's why. Kana, because the blue build for this character is very similar to Spinel's, and we receive a ton of buffs, so we get a ton of damage increase. And lastly, White, because it gives the most damage against humans. Then, Stats of the Customs, Stat Training, and lastly, we have Aina. Aina is the one who's gonna have the green build. She's gonna use the butterfly weapon just for the speed, not for the critical buff. Then, anti-human shadow Magatamas, yin yang Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the subslot, whatever weapon on the subslot, both 5 out of 5, this one plus 15, this one plus 14. Fastest shot, drone shooter to just heal in case I need that, and bullet storm. Yeah, perhaps this is not the most damaging build, but it's fun to use, I'll admit that. And look at this, 7-second cooldown and 9-second cooldown. Pretty fast. Now, what happens when we use this? Of course, we're gonna use Shinora over here, Ragnarok. Lanshang to reduce the cooldown of my skills, and Misaki. Perhaps it's not the best thing because here it says damage increases as the cooldown time increases. So yeah, this is gonna do less damage, but even so, it's fine. The one that I really want to use is fastest shot, 3-second fastest shot. And then we have the stats of the customs, stat training, and let's do this. Yeah, it is hilarious just to play with Aina. Unfortunately, guys, we're not gonna see the full potential of Shinmara because these builds are so strong. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the formations, but we'll check that in a moment. These builds are so strong that I defeat the enemy before I get all the stacks. Yeah, that's the only issue I have with this. But still, it's very, very useful for challenging content. The thing is, while Tower might be doable for some characters, VR is another story. The enemy deals way more damage. And that's why you probably want to equip this on a character who is able to deal range damage. Otherwise, you might have troubles with keeping the character alive. That's why I use Aina over here. And now let's go with the busted one. This is gonna end very quickly. Same build, the only difference is one character. And let's check very quickly the formation. I reduce damage taken with the name of Fuma, which barely increases damage. Increases damage with normal attacks to enemies with debuff by 6%. Then increase damage dealt to human type enemies by 10% and reduce cooldown by of the supporter by 3%. And penetration against human targets increases by 8%. A balance a range of different formations, but honestly you could go with pure penetration and that would be great too. Now, for this, we use Sora. Obviously, we get the busted weapon, Chironupu. Okay, I don't know how to say this, but it is the busted weapon, you know? The renewal one. We use this at 4 out of 5 plus 15. This one 5 out of 5 plus 15. Anti-human, Yin-Yang Magatemas, whatever Magatemas on the sub-slot. Celestial Fox, Basic Enhancer, and Godsmaw. Godsmaw doesn't care about the triple color because the base damage is not going to increase. It only increases the critical chance and it's VR. We're not critting. Then, obviously Shinora, obviously Misaki, and over here Susune. I can commit to Susune because with the weapon I'm going to be able to inflict debuffs. But if you don't have any ways to debuff the enemy, just equip whatever damage increase that you can. Stats of the customs, stat training, and let me just show you how disgustingly broken this character is. It is more the character and the weapon than the supporter, but the supporter does matter. I gotta say, it is pretty useful. Yeah, and it's on. It's on. Yep, stop right there. Godsmaw. And I just do this and it's done. Yeah. 2 combos. Well, two castings of the arrow shower skill. My god. Yeah, this one is broken. They did great for her, but I think it's a little bit too broken. I don't mind. Keep it this way. She's the new meta. So, anyways, should you roll for this supporter and weapon? Oh, it is difficult. I think you should, yes, because the weapon gives a ton of value for VR. It is very good by itself, and the supporter gives great value for challenging content. Not exactly for Total War, but challenging content in general, yes. The issue, as I mentioned, we have too many good banners. This one, because you just saw Sora, and this one, which is not getting a rerun. This is getting a rerun, but who knows how long till then. And this one, this is probably your last chance to get it easy. So, well, in any case, don't forget there are some copies over here and you can grab them. That's an option. And tell me what do you think about the weapon and supporter. Do you like it? Do you not? Do you want to roll for this? Did you get it? Let me know anything on the comments and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!